I handed my own sister 9 million rupees because I believed she was carrying the child I had prayed for during 7 heartbreaking years of marriage. 3 months later, I watched her smiling in front of a mirror as she quietly removed a fake pregnant belly and placed it inside an expensive designer bag. She had stolen my savings, tried to steal my husband, and believed nobody would ever uncover her perfect lie. She never imagined I had already invited a doctor, gathered every piece of evidence, and prepared the moment that would destroy her in front of everyone she wanted to impress. Before we begin, dear friends, please help me. Your subscription is very valuable to me. Please subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. My name is Amber. For years, my life revolved around one dream. I wanted to become a mother. Not because society expected it. Not because relatives kept asking questions. I simply wanted to hold my own child. Every month ended with another disappointment. Every medical appointment carried another expensive bill. Every hopeful smile faded before reaching home. My husband, Denial, never blamed me. He always squeezed my hand before every consultation. He always whispered the same sentence. "We'll face this together." Those words kept me alive. We visited fertility specialists in Lahore. We traveled to Karachi for advanced treatment. We even consulted experts in Islamabad. Each visit cost thousands. Each test raised our hopes before crushing them again. By the 7th year of marriage, we had spent almost 3 million rupees on treatments. Still nothing. One evening, my younger sister Natasha arrived carrying homemade dessert. She hugged me tightly. She cried before I did. Then she said something that completely changed my life. "If you trust me, I'll become your surrogate." I froze. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely hear anything else. I asked her to repeat herself. She smiled with what looked like genuine kindness. "I'll carry your baby." I burst into tears. Not from sadness. From overwhelming gratitude. Denial looked equally shocked. He thanked her repeatedly. That night felt like a miracle. Within weeks, Natasha presented detailed plans. She spoke confidently about doctors, medical procedures, legal agreements, hormone schedules. Everything sounded convincing. She insisted the entire process needed privacy because she didn't want distant relatives spreading rumors before the pregnancy became stable. The explanation sounded reasonable. She requested financial support because she claimed the specialized clinic required immediate payments. I transferred 3 million rupees. Then another 2 million. Later another 4 million. 9 million rupees. Every transfer came directly from my savings account. Money I had built over 12 years through my architecture business. I never questioned a single payment. She was my sister. Blood doesn't betray blood. At least that's what I believed. Months passed. Natasha visited less frequently. Whenever she appeared, she wore loose dresses. She rested dramatically. She complained about morning sickness. She refused certain foods. Everyone believed her. My mother proudly knitted baby clothes. My father started planning a nursery. Even neighbors congratulated us. I noticed tiny details that felt strange. Her stomach seemed different every single visit. Sometimes higher. Sometimes lower. Sometimes unusually firm. Whenever I asked about medical appointments, she quickly changed the subject. A strange silence settled inside me. Not fear. Not anger. Something colder. The kind of silence that appears just before someone begins searching for the truth. That cold feeling refused to leave. Instead of confronting Natasha, I began watching. I stopped asking emotional questions and started collecting facts. Every lie leaves footprints. You simply need patience to find them. The first clue arrived during a family dinner. Natasha claimed grilled fish made her nauseous. 20 minutes later she happily finished spicy shrimp at a nearby restaurant according to the photo she accidentally posted online. She deleted it within minutes, but I had already saved a screenshot. The second clue came from her handbag. While helping her carry groceries, I noticed a receipt sticking out. It listed cosmetics, perfume, and something called silicone maternity form. The store name was partially hidden, but I memorized it. That night I called my closest friend, Shahid. He had worked as a private investigator before joining a corporate security firm. He was discreet, intelligent, and absolutely loyal. I told him everything. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he said, "Give me 1 week." 7 days later he returned carrying a thin envelope. Inside were photographs. Natasha dancing at a late-night lounge. Natasha drinking expensive champagne. Natasha wearing tight designer clothing without any sign of pregnancy. The timestamps matched the exact dates she claimed to be pregnant. On complete bed rest. Shahid also found the boutique named on the receipt. Its owner quietly confirmed they sold realistic prosthetic pregnancy bellies for film productions and theatrical performances. He could not share customer records, but the security camera outside the shop had captured Natasha entering and leaving with a large shopping bag. The footage was legally obtained through the neighboring business after Shahid explained suspected financial fraud. My stomach tightened, yet my mind remained calm. Crying would not recover 9 million rupees. Evidence would. I opened every bank statement and payment receipt. Each transfer carried Natasha's signature acknowledging receipt of funds for fertility treatment. She had signed every page herself. The paperwork became another brick in the wall closing around her. Meanwhile, Natasha grew bolder. She started visiting our home whenever Denial was there. She laughed too loudly. She wore expensive perfume that filled every room. She repeatedly mentioned how emotionally connected she felt to the baby. Then she looked directly at Denial before smiling. One afternoon she waited until I answered a work call. When I returned, she was standing far too close to my husband. She quickly stepped away and apologized with exaggerated innocence. Denial looked uncomfortable. Later he admitted Natasha had suggested that carrying his child created a special bond. He rejected her immediately and told me everything. Hearing his honesty erased my final doubt about him. The problem was never my marriage. The problem was the woman pretending to protect it. That evening I called our longtime family doctor, Dr. Aliyah. After reviewing every document and every suspicious detail, she quietly agreed to help. She requested one final opportunity for Natasha to expose herself. I smiled for the first time in many weeks. The trap was finally ready now. The invitation arrived 2 weeks later. Natasha was hosting an extravagant pre-wedding celebration for one of our cousins at a luxury banquet hall. She called everyone personally and insisted the entire family attend. She sounded unusually cheerful. I accepted without hesitation. She believed she was arranging a celebration. I knew she was walking into a courtroom without realizing it. During those 2 weeks, Shahid continued gathering evidence. He discovered that Natasha had never visited the fertility clinic she claimed to use. The invoices she had shown us were professionally edited copies stolen from another patient. The clinic administrator signed a written statement confirming Natasha had never been registered there. Dr. Aliyah obtained certified medical records proving Natasha suffered from a condition that made pregnancy impossible without extensive treatment she had never received. I organized every document inside a simple black leather folder. No dramatic speeches. No emotional messages. Only facts. Only proof. Denial stood beside me through every step. He refused to confront Natasha early because he wanted the truth revealed publicly. People believed her lies in public, he said. They should witness the truth the same way. The evening finally arrived. The ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers. Fresh white lilies decorated every table. Soft violin music echoed through the hall. Natasha entered wearing an emerald green designer gown worth nearly 400,000 rupees. Her oversized maternity dress highlighted the enormous fake belly beneath it. Guests applauded as she walked slowly, pretending every step required effort. She loved the attention. She welcomed every compliment. She smiled as though she had already won. Then she noticed me. Her lips curled into a confident grin. "So, Amber," she announced loudly enough for nearby guests to hear, "you should thank me every day. Without me, you would never experience motherhood." Several relatives nodded sympathetically. She continued. "I've sacrificed everything. Honestly, denial understands me better than you do these days." The room became silent. She wanted me to cry. She wanted me to lose control. Instead, I smiled politely. "I agree," I replied calmly. "Tonight everyone deserves the complete truth." Confusion spread across her face. Before she could answer, I walked toward the event coordinator and quietly handed him a small flash drive. The massive LED screen behind the stage flickered to life. Natasha laughed. She assumed it was another family slideshow. Instead, the first image displayed one of her signed bank receipts acknowledging the transfer of 3 million rupees. Then another. Then another. 9 million rupees. Every transfer appeared with dates, signatures, and bank confirmations. Murmurs spread across the ballroom. Natasha's smile began fading. She stepped toward the stage. "What is this?" she demanded. I looked directly into her eyes. "This," I answered softly, "is only the beginning." At that exact moment, the ballroom doors opened once more. Dr. Aliyah entered carrying a sealed medical file. Right behind her walked Shahid holding a laptop. Neither of them said a single word. They simply took their places beside me. For the first time that evening, Natasha looked genuinely afraid. She instinctively placed both hands over her fake pregnant belly. She had finally realized the performance was over. Dr. Aliyah walked onto the stage with complete confidence. She greeted the guests politely before turning toward Natasha. Her voice remained calm, professional, and impossible to challenge. "I have served this family for many years," she began. "I would never reveal a patient's private information without proper authorization. Tonight, however, Amber has legally authorized me to present evidence concerning financial fraud committed against her." The room became completely silent. Even the musicians stopped playing. Natasha forced a nervous laugh. "She's lying," she said. Dr. Aliyah placed several certified documents beneath the projector. The first image appeared on the giant screen. Official medical records. Hospital seals. Diagnostic reports. Multiple specialist opinions. Every page carried Natasha's name. Every page confirmed the same heartbreaking reality. Natasha had never become pregnant. She could not have become pregnant naturally during the period she claimed. She had never undergone the surrogate procedure she described. She had never even been admitted to the fertility center. Gasps echoed across the ballroom. My mother covered her mouth. My father slowly sat down, unable to speak. Natasha pointed a shaking finger toward the doctor. "You forged those reports." Dr. Aliyah calmly held up the original sealed envelopes. "These documents were issued directly by the hospital. Anyone may verify them." Before Natasha could recover, Shahid connected his laptop. A security video appeared on the massive screen. The date matched one of the weeks Natasha proudly announced another pregnancy milestone. Guests watched in stunned silence. Natasha entered a boutique. She walked out carrying a large shopping bag. The next clip came from another camera. Inside a private parking garage, Natasha opened the bag. She removed a realistic silicone pregnancy belly. She carefully strapped it around her waist. Then she adjusted her dress, admired herself in a mirror, smiled proudly, and drove away. The ballroom exploded with shocked voices. Someone whispered, "My God." Another relative burst into tears. But Shahid was not finished. He displayed photographs from different weeks. Each fake belly had a slightly different shape. Different size. Different position. Different color straps. Every lie had been documented. Natasha desperately tried to grab the microphone. "This is edited." Shahid calmly replied, "The original files have already been submitted to the police cybercrime laboratory. The authenticity has been verified." Her confidence collapsed. She looked toward Denial. "Tell them you believe me." Denial stepped forward. His expression carried disappointment, not anger. "I believed you because you were Amber's sister," he said quietly. "The moment you tried convincing me that I belonged with you instead of my wife, I knew something was terribly wrong." Natasha froze. He continued. "You never carried our child. You only carried greed." The word struck harder than any scream. Then I opened the final folder. Inside was every bank transfer. Every signed acknowledgement. Every invoice. Every forged clinic document. Every message where Natasha demanded more money for imaginary treatments. I handed the file directly to the investigating officer waiting near the entrance. He had arrived 20 minutes earlier after reviewing the evidence. He stepped forward with another officer. "Natasha," he said firmly, "you are being detained on suspicion of fraud, forgery, financial deception, and obtaining money through false representation." The entire ballroom watched as the woman who had spent months pretending to create life finally faced the consequences created by her own lies. Natasha screamed that everyone was conspiring against her. She accused me of jealousy. She accused Denial of betrayal. She even blamed Dr. Aliyah for ruining her future. The officers listened without emotion. They simply informed her that she could explain everything during the official investigation. When they reached for the evidence folder, Natasha tried to snatch it away. Several documents scattered across the ballroom floor. Relatives instinctively bent down to collect the papers. As they read them, their expressions changed from confusion to disbelief. My father slowly approached me with tears in his eyes. He apologized for doubting my instincts. He admitted he had believed Natasha because she always knew how to manipulate emotions. My mother could not even look at her younger daughter. She quietly removed the gold family bracelet from Natasha's wrist. It had been passed from mother to daughter for 3 generations. "You no longer deserve to wear this," she whispered before placing it into my hands. Natasha begged everyone to forgive her. Nobody moved. Nobody defended her. The silence hurt her far more than angry shouting ever could. Within days the investigation expanded. Financial experts traced every rupee I had transferred. Nearly 4 million rupees had already been spent on luxury handbags, imported jewelry, designer clothing, foreign vacations, and gambling at exclusive private clubs. The remaining money had been hidden across several personal accounts opened under false business descriptions. The authorities immediately froze those accounts. Luxury items purchased with fraudulent funds were seized as evidence. Her social media accounts, once filled with glamorous photographs and inspirational captions, became proof of unexplained wealth. Brand receipts, travel reservations, and hotel invoices matched the exact dates she claimed to be attending medical appointments. Every lie connected perfectly to another. The court proceedings lasted several months. Natasha hired an expensive lawyer using borrowed money, but the evidence was overwhelming. Certified medical records. CCTV footage. Digital payment trails. Forged invoices. Witness testimony from the boutique owner. Statements from the fertility clinic. Even text messages where Natasha celebrated fooling everyone became part of the official record. The judge ordered her to repay every recoverable rupee, along with substantial financial penalties. Criminal convictions for fraud and forgery permanently damaged her reputation. No company wanted to employ someone whose deception had become national news through online reporting. After the hearings ended, Denial gently took my hand outside the courthouse. Neither of us spoke for several minutes. The weight of everything that had happened finally settled around us. Then he smiled. "We spent years chasing one dream," he said softly. "Maybe it's time we stop chasing and start living again." For the first time in a long while, I smiled without forcing it. We met with counselors. We spoke with adoption specialists. We also consulted new fertility experts, this time refusing false hope and impossible promises. Whatever path our future followed, we agreed on one promise. No more secrets. No more blind trust. Only honesty. Only faith in each other. The greatest family is not built through lies or stolen money. It is built through love, truth, patience, and the courage to stand together when everything else falls apart. Life slowly became peaceful again, but healing did not happen overnight. There were mornings when I still reached for my phone, expecting another message from Natasha demanding money for another imaginary medical emergency. There were evenings when I remembered how confidently she had looked into my eyes while lying without hesitation. Those memories no longer filled me with anger. They reminded me how dangerous blind trust could become when mixed with desperation. My architecture business had also suffered during the months of deception. I had postponed several major projects because every spare moment had been devoted to supporting Natasha. Some clients had moved on. Others patiently welcomed me back after learning what had happened. I threw myself into work with renewed determination. Within a year, my company secured contracts worth more than 15 million rupees. Every completed project felt like another brick rebuilding the life someone had tried to destroy. Denial never left my side. Every weekend we visited children's charities, hospitals, and community centers. Instead of asking why life had been unfair, we started asking how we could make someone else's life better. Those visits changed us. We realized parenthood was not measured only by biology. It was measured by love, commitment, sacrifice, and the willingness to protect another human being. Several months later we met a little girl named Hira. She was 4 years old. Quiet. Curious. She loved drawing colorful houses with enormous gardens. When she shyly handed me one of her pictures, I felt something inside my heart awaken that no medical treatment had ever managed to reach. The adoption process required interviews, financial reviews, background investigations, and months of waiting. Unlike Natasha's fake promises, every step was transparent and honest. Every signature carried genuine meaning. Every official approval brought real hope instead of manufactured excitement. The day the final adoption order was approved, Denial quietly wiped tears from his eyes. I held Hira's tiny hand as we walked out of the family court together. No cameras. No applause. No dramatic speeches. Just 3 people beginning a completely new chapter. Back home, my parents welcomed Hira with open arms. My mother placed the same family bracelet into a small wooden box and told me to keep it safely until Hira became old enough to understand what true family meant. This time the bracelet represented honesty instead of tradition alone. As for Natasha, we never spoke again. Occasionally I heard updates through distant relatives. She struggled to rebuild her life after serving her sentence and completing court-ordered financial repayments. The luxury lifestyle she had sacrificed everything for disappeared almost overnight. Expensive handbags, glamorous vacations, and fake admiration were gone. All that remained were the consequences of choices she had made herself. Looking back now, I no longer see my story as one about revenge. I see it as a story about truth. Truth may move slowly. It may test your patience. But when supported by evidence, courage, and self-control, truth always arrives at exactly the right moment. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Let me know in the comments what you would have done even today. People occasionally ask me whether I regret trusting Natasha. My answer always surprises them. No. I regret ignoring the quiet warnings my own instincts whispered. Desperation can silence wisdom, but experience teaches us to listen sooner. If something feels wrong, pause. Verify everything. Love should never require blindness. The investigation eventually recovered several million rupees through court-ordered asset sales. The remaining financial loss became an expensive lesson rather than a permanent defeat. My business continued growing. Denial expanded his consulting practice. Together we created a scholarship fund honoring families struggling with infertility and adoption expenses. Every year we quietly helped couples who needed honest guidance instead of false hope. Hera filled our home with laughter impossible to purchase with money. She covered refrigerator doors with colorful drawings and insisted every family dinner include homemade dessert. She called my parents grandma and grandpa from the very first week. Watching them smile healed wounds that years of betrayal could never reopen. Sometimes I stand in the nursery window during quiet evenings and remember the woman I used to be. She believed kindness alone protected people. The woman I am now knows kindness must walk beside wisdom. Forgiveness belongs to the heart, but trust belongs to actions. Anyone can promise loyalty. Only consistent behavior proves character. When Hera asks why we always keep important documents organized inside a small fireproof cabinet, I simply smile. One day, when she is older, I will explain that truth deserves careful protection. Evidence matters. Integrity matters. Self-respect matters even more. Our story did not end with scandal. It ended with peace earned honestly. The people who truly loved us remained. The ones attracted only by money disappeared without being chased. That difference became life's greatest gift. If my journey teaches anything, let it be this. Never surrender your judgment because someone shares your blood. Family is defined by compassion, responsibility, and honesty, not merely by birth. Stay calm when others expect panic. Gather facts when others spread lies. Let justice speak louder than revenge, and let your future become the happiest answer to every betrayal you survive. Thank you for listening, and may your life always be filled with genuine love, lasting peace, unwavering courage, and hope. Remember this whenever hardship visits your home. Dark moments never last forever if you refuse to surrender your principles. Stand with people who earn your confidence through actions, not performances. Protect your savings carefully. Read every agreement completely. Ask difficult questions without feeling guilty. Honest people welcome transparency. Deceivers fear it. Most importantly, never underestimate your own quiet strength. The day you stop begging for respect and start demanding truth is the day your real freedom begins. Every ending creates space for a better beginning, and every honest step forward leaves every painful lie permanently behind forever. Carry hope with confidence, protect your peace without apology, cherish those who remain faithful, and remember that authentic happiness is the richest inheritance any loving family can ever share together always.